Hello everyone and welcome to Dammit Jim's Gun Info. Previously I did a video when I was talking about gun belts or battle belts, the different things that are available, everything out there. And I wanted to do another follow-up video to give you kind of an idea of more wearing the item so that you understand what I'm talking about when I mention the different aspects that each one would end up having. A lot of people like different holsters. A lot of people like different types of magazine pouches, a lot of individual first aid kits, different types of knives. So there is a spectrum of different things that are available to you as the shooter, depending upon how you want to set your gun belt and everything up, depending upon what you want to do. Currently, I am a big SIG fan. The P320 series is really a marvelous pistol. It's very, very modular. So it's one of the different systems that I end up having here. I have two of them here, because I wanted to show you that the holster that I have here it's an Orpaz level 2 holster. And what this does is it allows me to have my SIG P320 full size with a muzzle brake and everything on it, with the holographic weapon sight, raised night sights, so that I can end up shooting this very comfortably downrange. Another thing I like about this is that the holster is a level 2 holster. So as I drop the weapon in there, it automatically locks into place by locking the trigger guard. I don't like the Serpa holsters because the Serpa holsters have the button right here, and when people try to apply the button as they draw the weapon, the pressure continues inside the trigger well, and then bang, you can see how that can end tragically as you're drawing your firearm. So I've always been a big fan of maintaining trigger control by grabbing the weapon, keeping my finger alongside the slide of the weapon, but also having my thumb, as I grab, my thumb automatically releases the weapon from the holster, so that I still keep my finger along the side. So going with that, I can also end up using my SubCompact in the same situation if I so desired. So because it has the same setup, it has the same cutouts and everything like that for the optics and raised night sights and stuff like that, but it still provides me with the ability to draw the firearm with my finger alongside the action, but using my thumb. Okay, so again, it's just really great. You can just drop it in there, bam, and it secures, and then you can just draw it. But this is an Orpaz holster. I had to do a little bit of work right here in the front to make the room available for the holographic weapon sight, but I really like this holster because, I mean, it's real fast and your weapon is out, but again, it provides the security of it being locked in there. This is one of the Cobra belts. It has a bit waistband on the back that fits onto the back of this to distribute the weight of the different things on the belt a little bit better. You'll see here I have some shotgun shell holders. I've got one here and I've got one right behind the pistol right here, so that I can load a shotgun from either side. So you can pop 2 rounds out into your shotgun really, really quickly, take the 2 out, bang, bang. So I can load from the left, I can load from the right just by grabbing 2 shells, and I can immediately load my shotgun. Okay, again, I can put 2 more in there. It gives me 8, 4 here and 4 here for my shotgun. These are currently Think Centurion 2 3/4 inch double-aught bucks. Now, when it comes to magazine pouches, shooter's preference, I always end up liking to think ergonomics and stuff like that. So whenever I end up having my firearm, we'll go with this again, cleared, full size, in the holster. If you're drawing your firearm, you're going to end up going here and you're going to possibly engage targets and stuff like that. So whenever I end up having to comes the time for me to do a magazine change, whether it be administrative or a tactical magazine change, I want to be able to immediately not even think where my magazines are, and I can immediately go right to them. Okay, as you'll notice that I didn't even look at my belt, I didn't look at my finger, and my fingers are along the nose of the bullets. Okay, the point about that ends up being, close your eyes, and I want you to make your shooting hand. Then I want you to take a pointy finger with your soft hand or your off hand or your weak hand, depending on how you want to end up calling it, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to touch the center of your palm. I want you to do it in front of you, I want you to do it close to you, I want you to do it all these different locations. The point being, if you have any kind of coordination whatsoever, you can always find the center of your palm with your pointing finger of your other hand. So whenever you're going to end up reloading the magazine, you can see where it automatically indexes, and I haven't even had to look at my firearm, so that it automatically, naturally will go into that position. Then you can do a power stroke if you need to load that round into the chamber, and then you can immediately continue to engage targets. Okay, so if that magazine is partial and I have to do an administrative magazine change so that I have a full magazine plus one in the chamber, and then use this magazine as a backup, what you can end up doing is take the other magazine, swap it out, put that one into that position. Again, I'm not looking at my magazine pouches and stuff like that. And then I have my other full magazine, and I end up moving it forward or into the gun. Okay, so the whole point about this is to be able to do these manipulations without actually looking at your equipment. So then when it comes to, say, I'm going to use my carbine, and I have it, say, at the ready. If I need to do a magazine change, the bullet noses here are going to be different, because on an AR-15, as an example, we're going to do a slightly different manipulation. So I'm going to pause right there, and then we'll come right back to it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, we're back. So say I have my AR-15 as an example. You can do whatever weapon you want as long as you're proficient with your firearm. In the event you're engaging targets, bang, 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 and you get that last round notification that the ejection chamber is locked to the rear, the chamber's open, you can look inside and see there's nothing in the chamber. So you know by looking in the magazine, you can see the magazine follower, that there's no more ammunition in your firearm. What you want to end up doing is bring your magazine or weapon up so you can end up grab your magazine. You want to pull your magazine out of your pouch. When you grab your AR magazine, I like these upside down, bullet facing the back of your, because the whole point ends up thinking beer can grip. So if I grab my magazine in a beer can grip, it's like grabbing a beer can, and it's going to go right in to the firearm, just like so, okay? And then you would put your thumb right there, and that would end up dropping the bolt, unless it automatically drops like when you have the live round right there. So that way you would be able to slap just to make sure that it is seated, and then you would be able to immediately re-engage your targets. Okay, so the beer can grip is set up so that your magazines come up and go right into the magazine well. And as soon as your thumb is right there, you can hit the little paddle, magazine release, bolt release, whatever you want to end up calling it, slide, stop, release. And then you could immediately drop the bolt on a live round, and you could immediately go back to gun, shoot whatever that you're shooting. Make sure you're properly manipulating the manual safety so that you're ensuring safety while you're out at the range or whenever you're engaging targets, if you've got other people that you're engaging with. So those are a couple of different things as far as the ergonomics, as far as having the equipment. Pistol magazines, bullet nose upside down, pointing around clockwise to the handgun that I shoot, counterclockwise if you're a lefty. Magazine pouch for the rifle magazine, upside down, bullet nose pointing backwards, counterclockwise to the hand that you shoot with, because you're going to grab the beer can grip, the magazine is going to go into the mag wheel, and you can be able to hit the magazine release on your AR. AKs are going to then require you to either reach underneath and cycle the bolt that way, or you're going to have to roll it and then come over the top and actually cycle your AK rifle charging handle that way, so that you can immediately re-engage your target. So there's a couple of different things that why I end up having this set up like this. The holster, I don't like high holsters and stuff like in this situation, because you're already having a problem whenever you're putting body armor, all those other different things like that on. You could be in a tight situation. So this here automatically is just a real easy low, just a slight drop. Not a thigh rig, but a hip rig is what I call it, so that I can immediately grab it and immediately draw it if I end up having to. This has a belt that goes around your thigh to make sure that this ends up staying secure, so that it doesn't go flopping around or cause any kind of binding whenever you go to draw your firearm. Depending upon how big the grip is on your firearm, as you can see, these look similar, but when you actually stack them side by side, this one is slightly smaller than this one. So depending upon the magazines that you use, one may stick out a little bit further than the other. The high capacity 21 rounders, for example, stick out a little bit further on this one than they would this one, because just the grip, so there's a little bit of a gap. So just be aware of that whenever you're actually selecting your firearm for your range duty. So also the other thing ends up being is practice with your gear. Know where your gear and everything is. Know how everything fits on your gear so that you can actually manipulate it without too many of a worry about where's the stupid holster. No, you should be able to automatically draw your firearm, and you should be able to holster it without you really even thinking too much about it. It takes a little bit of practice. Okay, that one I had to look. But what you end up getting down to end up dealing with it just takes a little bit of practice and practice and practice and practice, okay? So just bear a lot of that stuff in mind, okay? Make sure you remember, if it's a thumb break, you got to make sure you push down with your thumb. It doesn't have to be a lot of pressure. As you can see, it's just a little bit of pressure, and the weapon comes out. but it's enough for it to hold on to it. So if I get banged, binged, and all this other kind of stuff, it's not just going to fall out of the holster. I'm not going to have to chase it around the wherever I'm at shooting. Other things is individual first aid kits. A lot of people end up having them. I personally like the individual first aid kit on my strong side from the perspective of if somebody ends up getting shot, I'm going to probably be putting as much pressure and whatever manipulation I need to do as far as on there, get their shirt, get their jacket open, get their pants leg open, whatever you're going to end up having to do with my weak hand so I can put the pressure and everything on so I can manipulate everything in the IFAK, getting the scissors, getting the bandages and stuff like that with my strong hand so then I can end up do what I end up needing to provide the aid that I end up having to do for that individual. Then also having the availability of having a knife, because regardless of the situation where you're going to be at, sooner or later you're going to end up needing a knife to get in, out of something. Straps get caught, people end up getting jammed indoors, clothing gets caught on different things and stuff like that. You may end up having to stick a bad guy. But having that available, besides just your regular pocket knife in your pocket or in your back pocket, different things along those lines, is something that you want to end up having available to you so that you can cut yourself out of whatever situation you may end up being in. Cut yourself, your weapon gets damaged, caught in a door, things along those lines, you have to cut yourself out of the sling that you end up having on it to get out of it. Belt gets caught on something to get out of that. Things like that can end up happening. So those are the different things that you want to end up thinking about when you end up setting your belt and everything up. The ergonomics of how everything is set up so you can immediately grab your gear in the event of, oh crap, I need that piece of equipment right this exact minute. Offhand so I can apply pressure to injuries while I reach in the back and get my IFAK and get everything out with my strong hand so I can do what I need to end up doing. Chest decompression for tension pneumothorax. If you don't know how to do it, look it up on YouTube. Get you that equipment, practice it, learn how to end up using it, because it may end up being a situation that you end up finding yourself in. But whenever you practice, know what it is that you're doing, it removes a lot of the stress in a stressful situation. Knowing where all your equipment is reduces a lot of the stress of the situation so that you can focus on the problem that you're dealing with at hand or focus on the targets that you're engaging. So thanks for watching this episode of Dammit, Jim's Gun Info. Again, like I end up saying, the way you set your belt and everything up is totally up to you as the shooter. Look around, see what works, see what doesn't work. Wear it around the house. See what's comfortable, what's not comfortable. Do a couple of different things. Squat down, fix this, pick that up, different things like that. You may feel a little bit weird, end up doing it, but when you can actually start feeling about how your equipment operates and moves with you whenever you're doing just basic functions, it's going to make you a lot more comfortable in the equipment that you end up having. So again, please hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dammit, Jim's Gun Info, and we'll see you next time.